Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? This is SMH Podcast. I am your host, Shania. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode. I appreciate you guys for joining me. This is a new season, actually, season 3. Appreciate you guys for joining me. Clap it up for yourselves for being here. You can follow me on my social media platforms. I am on Instagram, SMH Podcast 96. That is my tag for my for Instagram, SMH Podcast 96. I'm on Twitter, SMH Podcast 1. That is the @ for it. It's SMH Podcast 1. And then I'm also on Wisdom at SMH Podcast 96. And you can find me on YouTube. All of it's in the link in the bio of my Instagram. And I'm also on Facebook. So you guys can find me on all streaming platforms and all social media platforms. So somewhat. I'm not on Snapchat or whatever. But yeah, let's get into the episode, y'all. Thanks for joining me for another episode and a new season. I appreciate you guys for joining me for a new season. Season 3, y'all. We are here for season 3. I can't believe we made it 3 seasons. Like, this is crazy. But we're here to grow. We're here to get better as people. We're here to just have growth in our life. That's what this podcast is really about. It's about growth, and getting growth in all different aspects. So we are changing the way we are doing, content and all that. I'm doing more audio instead of video, because that's what was kind of holding up my streaming, me posting episodes and all that. Was that I was too focused on trying to do a video and make a podcast instead of just doing my regular thing and then sometimes shooting it. Like, I should have just tried to balance it, but I didn't, and it was kind of holding you guys back from getting good content and getting more content from me. And I know that's what you guys want, so I'm sorry for that, but I appreciate you guys for holding in there with me. We're going to get into the episode, but we're going to get into our first segment, and it is What's for Tea, y'all. What's for tea, actually, this tea time is a little, interesting. If you guys do not know right now, well, I'm pretty sure if you watch the news or on social media, that Russia went to war with the Ukraine. And my heart goes out to everybody in the Ukraine right now, like all the soldiers, all the people, the innocent people, the lives that are being attacked. When I looked up the stats, it was said that there was 137 Ukrainian soldiers were fatally injured, 300 were injured by the Russian army and all that. So it's really sad what's going on and all that. And Biden, he kind of stepped in and he was like, they had to place hard sanctions on Russia. Right now they're trying to cut off their money assets with NATO and all that. I believe NATO was implemented because of all the things that's going on in the Ukraine right now. It's getting real, y'all. I'm just hoping it doesn't escalate more. And we can get this solved quickly, but this dude Putin was like, anybody that interferes will face consequences that you've never faced in history. And that's kind of scary to think about because, they're pretty good with China right now. And we don't need to be beefing with China either. So it's tough times right now. We're still dealing with COVID and all that. So I'm sorry for all it's just a lot of negative energy in the world, y'all. The world is just gone crazy, but we got to keep together and stay together and try to push through all that. But because of all this fighting and all that, we're going to get hit pretty hard in April because apparently gas prices will go up $4 in April because of all because I'm pretty sure we get most of our gas and a lot of our oil from Russia probably, which is why it's going to be a short supply. I just think this is just these past 2 years have been so stressful for everybody. COVID and now this has been, so the different phases of COVID, it's just been so stressful for everybody. And I just think that right now we all need to try to focus on trying to heal ourselves internally because the world right now and the outside energy is just negative enough that we don't need to, keep that negative energy within us. So Next up for tea, I didn't even want to call this tea time because this is kind of depressing just a little bit. But next up for tea, a Texas governor directs. Oh, he's apparently trying to do this whole thing. The Texas governor directs gender reassignment surgery and puberty blocking meds as a form of child abuse. Very interesting. I guess he's saying that, he doesn't want the whole thing of children being able to do the whole transgender transition at an early age. And I wouldn't say it's child abuse, but he's trying to deem it as child abuse so people can't do that to their children at a young age. And it's just interesting because one, he's trying to tell people how to parent their children, but I don't see it as a form of child abuse. Like, they're taking hormones, they're having surgery. I get the stress it puts on, like, these young children and the big transitions it does, but at the same time, I wouldn't call it child abuse because it's the child that wants it. At the end of the day, it's not like the parent is like, well, okay, you want to be a girl? Well, let's go make you a girl, and putting that child through that thing so that they can become what they want, like making them do it forcefully. It's not like that would be child abuse. Like, when you're abusing a child, like, you can't say that because a child wants it and the parent is willing to go through it with them is a form of child abuse. I think that's just, I don't know, that's just weird that he would try to make it to seem like it's child abuse, because it's not child abuse because it's the child that wants it at the end of the day. It's like, I don't know, Texas, what are you doing, Texas? But on a lighter note, on a good note, y'all, next up for tea, Netflix CEO and his wife made a $10 million donation to the Mississippi HBCU. And I just want to give them another round of applause because that is so amazing. I really wish I would have went to a HBCU, y'all. I would have felt a little bit more connected to my roots a little bit more. I don't know. I just feel like it's more cultural there. And where I went to school was cool, but I don't know. I just feel like I should have went to a HBCU. Anyway, moving on. Next up for tea, another lighter note. The women's U.S. soccer team reaches a $24 million settlement for equal pay. $24 million settlement for equal pay. And I just want to say this was the reason. I'm not going to say that's the reason why I didn't want to do sports, because I love sports, but I just want to highlight that it's just messed up that women's sports and women's soccer, basketball, and they have football. It's called Powder Puff. Doesn't get as much publicized as men's sports. And it just really sucks that, even great athletes have to deal with things on the back burner, like having equal pay. It's so, that's why I always, I've always wanted to play football, but I knew that I couldn't become a professional football player because they don't have women football players. And it just sucks that I gave up my dream before I even knew there was a thing called Powder Puff. Before I even knew that you could still even try out for the team in high school. I knew this girl, it was until my junior or senior year of high school where I knew this girl, she tried out for the football team and made it. And I was just upset because I'm just it's not publicized enough for girls to play those type of sports. And it's I get it. We're supposed to act like ladies and all that, but for the girls that do want to do those sports, why is it not acceptable for us to be able to even given the chance to do it? You're not going to see a girl being able to go into the NFL. And why is that? Why can't we be able to, I get it. These are bigger, stronger guys, but why can't we have a type of position where we could just be the kicker or some shit? Like, at least we're in the sport because this is something that we want to do. Like, why aren't we able to get that type of choice? And I get that there's the WNBA and all that. There's the WNBA. I get that. And they get publicized pretty well enough too, but it's not as much as men's basketball sports. Like, we don't see the playoffs for women that much as men. For like, the playoffs just passed. Like, were the women's playoffs as publicized as the men's? No, you see nothing but the men's, because that's all people want to see all the time. It's just male energy. Male energy. But moving on, y'all, we're gonna move on to the episode. But I did do a poll again. It's an old poll. For those of y'all who follow me on social media, you know I took a big break. I took like a 2-week break, y'all. I needed the break, though, because I've been going through a lot. And we're going to get into all that into season 3. I do want y'all to know I have some really good content for y'all. I've been sitting and writing and doing all this for y'all because I love you guys so much. And I just feel so bad that I just neglected y'all for so long. But I needed the break. And we all need breaks sometimes. You know, we all got to take our breaks in life and get through our struggles the best way we know how. And I had to take a break from everything in order to get my mind right so that I can be great for y'all. You know, I don't want to come on here all sad and depressed for y'all. I sound a little, it's my throat right now. I'm trying to drink some, we sipping on something, y'all. It's not tea, but we sipping on something. Anyway, I did do a poll. And the poll was, what was more important, loyalty or respect? What's more important, loyalty or respect? And more people chose loyalty. And I kind of disagree with it because I choose respect. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have respect from somebody, you can't really trust that they're going to be loyal to you. So if you don't have to respect first, how are you going to expect somebody to be loyal to you? So I think respect comes before loyalty. I heard Alicia Keys say that on the podcast too. But at the same time, it made sense when she said it. Like, you have to have respect first before you have loyalty. You can't just expect somebody to be loyal to you if they don't respect you. I'm not going to be loyal to somebody I don't respect, you know? So it just, I think respect is just comes first. It's better. So, and then the next question was, which was better, being rich or being wealthy? More people chose being wealthy, and I'm happy people know the difference, that you can be rich, you can have riches and money and all this stuff, but that can go away. If you have wealth is something different. Like, wealth is, you can value, wealth is honestly whatever you find wealth, like as in wealth wise, like wealth is so different. Like, you can find wealth in like your family. Like, you can find wealth in like your community. Like, you can find like wealth in so many different things, but like you can be rich. Like, you can't always be rich. Like, you can't always have like, you can't always have like, I just find being rich like just having money, but having wealth is having so much more than just money. That's like a better way to say it. Like, you can be rich, like you can have money, like that's just having money, and money can be here today and gone tomorrow. But having wealth is like being able to like that's why people are so focused on generational wealth, like having like money for a lifetime. You know, I find that like a lifetime worth of money instead of just like a momentary amount of money type ish. The next question was, do you flex for the gram? And people said no. They post for themselves, and that's normally that's what we're supposed to be doing. I don't know why we've gotten into this whole idea that, you know, because I do it too. We like, oh, I don't want to post this because it doesn't make me look like, it's not as flattering as it like my other pictures, or this and that. Like, we try to hide our true authentic self so much for social media. And I'm like, why do we do that? Like, literally, like we'll stop like, we'll just, like, I don't, like, and I'm not saying you have to post online. You don't have to post online if you don't want to. If you don't want to, don't post online. But I'm just saying, when we do, why do we, like, what our selection process? Like, think about the selection process when you're going through pictures. Oh, this is a good picture. This might get so many likes. Oh, this might, be cool. This might be, but it in your head, like, it don't matter what you post, just post it. If people like it, people like it. If people don't. Why do we put so much pressure on ourselves on just a post? That's what the question really was. It's like, that's why I wanted to ask the question was, why do we put so much pressure on ourselves for a post? That's really like, oh, I'm not going to post this because it's not going to do that well. But then we end up posting it maybe later down the road, and it ends up doing a lot better than we thought. And we're like, what the fuck was my problem? Like, why did I do that? Like, what was my issue? I do it too, y'all. But we got to get out of that mindset. And the last question was, do you believe in soulmates? Some people, 70% of people said yes. 30% of people said no. I feel like the people that said no are probably because they only said no because they haven't met their soulmate, maybe. Or met somebody that's like moved their soul in a type of way, because a soulmate can be so many different things. Like, people think like a soulmate has to be like a love interest or something, like has to be somebody that you're romantically in love with, and it doesn't have to always be that. A soulmate can be somebody that just generally, like, in your heart you truly like have a connection with, like, and that person is there for you as much as you're there for them. Like, a soulmate can be a grandparent, a child, a mom, a dad, a parent, I just said the same thing, a cousin, a sister, a brother. Like, a soulmate can be so many different things, and you're gonna go through life trying to find, a romantic partner that's quote unquote your soulmate. But some people find life partners because they know they've already met their soulmate and they probably can't be with their soulmate, so they find a life partner. Like, this is just the person I'm gonna get through life with, because I know we're not gonna be this isn't the person that I know I have a soul tie with, but I have, a life, I can spend my life with type ish. Like, I don't think people really understand what a soulmate really is. Like, well, you can go into depth about it to a different episode, but a soulmate can be so many different things. Like, it doesn't have to be just a person, just a romantic relationship. It could be a different person in your life that can be your soulmate. So, moving on to the episode, though, y'all. We're going to get into the episode. The episode was the episode I was supposed to post before I went on my break. I'm sorry, y'all. But it's how we're going to build integrity. I think it's a dying moral right now because people are so dishonest. Like the world is being, it's just everybody's being dishonest. Like, it's the quality of being honest, being the state of being whole, telling the truth. Like, I just feel like a lot of people are being dishonest nowadays. Like, it's all over the internet. I mean, there's scammers, people who do things for clout, people who do things for fame, the lengths people go for money. That's what I really like. I feel like people are losing their integrity. They're doing things just so that they can get to what society or the internet has deemed as fame or as important and all that. And I just feel like it's creating a lot of sad and demonic people in a certain way. Like, have you ever heard people say they want to be on demon time? Like, why do you want to be on demon time? Like, what's the concept of being on demon time? Like, I don't understand why everybody has tried to, this whole push to be a demon, and the things people do to hold up that image. Like, I don't know. It's just really sad. Or the fact that there's people on OnlyFans selling their bodies. Like, I get it. we post pictures of ourselves half naked and twerking and all that, so why not get money off of it? But you're honestly going the lengths of having intercourse online for money. Like, where do you draw the line for, like, I'm not gonna, like, where do you draw the line for what you're not gonna do for money is what I'm saying. Like, if robbing and killing wasn't enough, like, you have to add in, you know, I don't know, like, it's porn, if you ask me. It's porn. But then we have scammers, like, people who will say, oh, I'll give you $3,000 if you cash at me $100. Like, I get it, you're probably broke. You need the money, bro, and you got to go through your things. It's like the lengths we're going through to get money today is very sad. And what happened to where we all needed money so bad to where we have to do all these things? Like, if like I said, if robbing and killing wasn't enough, where did the whole thing where everybody had to be a scammer? Where did the whole thing where, you know, you have to be internet famous? Like, why do we all want to be internet famous? Where did the thing happen to where we all need fame and clout and, like, clout chasers? Like, do you know the links, the stories I've heard online about clout chasers, the things people do? The fact that people will lie and try to, like, tear down a person's whole career for clout chasing. Like, people have died over clout chasing. Like, it's just, it's asinine. The amount of things that people are doing because they think they have to do it. Like, where did people honestly get in their head like this is what we have to do to become famous, to become relevant, for people to see us? Like, people see you. And if you just, like, I just want people to understand that if you just be yourself, most of the time people will see you. I don't know. We just live in a time where everyone is like, I gotta get my own and fuck everybody else. And I get that, you know, do what you gotta do to get what you want. But just, why do you have to break your integrity to do that? That's all I'm saying. Why do you have to be this sick individual, or this, not even sick individual, but this cold-hearted, like, unhonest, like, because you can't be, like, you can't be whole if you're doing all this. Like, there has to be, like, some sort of, like, brokenness in you to have to do these type of things so that you do feel whole. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to work hard for anything. Everybody wants it now. They don't want, you know, to take the time to get to the place that they need to be. It's like, I can make shortcuts. Like, you don't have to make shortcuts. Like, my generation is slowly dying because they need things now. And the way that they need things is breaking that one thing that I'm saying is dying, their integrity, just to get it. Like, they're making value-based decisions and not decisions based on, value-based decisions and not decisions based on personal gain. Like, people do things for personal gain nowadays. Like, they're not doing it because it's good to do. Like, it's just nice. Like, the first thing people do is turn on their phone. Like, I can try to embarrass somebody. Like, why is that your first thought, is that I can try to embarrass someone instead of actually trying to help someone, or actually just trying to see that person in that moment? Why is it our first instinct, you know, let me try to get money off of this situation? Like, let me try to, benefit off this situation instead of just living in the situation. Like it would be things like you guys have probably encountered some people like that. Somebody who is always like, well, I'm not gonna do this unless you do this. I'm not gonna do, like, that's somebody who only does something for their personal gain. And somebody like that will break every moral they have in their body just so that they can get that personal gain. Like, as long as they can gain from it, they don't care what they have to do to get that. Like, okay, taking money away from children, but it's to get me this, like those are those type of people. Like, I'm taking away from here, but even though that's fucked up, I'm getting something better. Like, it's integrity is a dying moral nowadays. Between clout chasing, between these grimy attitudes, the fact that people need to be on demon time, have to be seen as these killers, these thugs, these, like, why do you want to be seen as that? Like, I get it. That's what we've all been acceptable to, or that's what we've all been open to, or not even exposed to. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what we all have been exposed to. But at the same time, we keep saying it's 2022. Time's got to be different. Time needs to be different, y'all. We need to start living different. We need to start growing from those type of mindsets. We don't need to always do things for fame. We don't have to try to chase clout. We don't have to do these damn things for money. Like, I don't know where it's just this ideal that the more money you have, the better your life will be. No, the more money you have, the more problems you're going to have. And people don't necessarily tell you that. Like, yeah, you have more money, but you have probably more responsibilities. Like, you can't just have all this money and think that more problems aren't going to come with it. More things won't come with it. There won't be more people around when you do have more money. Like, you won't need more things when you do have more money. Like, I just want everybody to put that in perspective. Like, people see, like, oh, like, I'm going to say this as an example. People see Rick Ross and they're like, man, Rick Ross got a bunch of money. He a boss. That's the boss. He got all his cars. He just bought a cow. The man just bought a cow. Like, you see all this money, all this and that. His house was the house for Coming to America too. Like, but Rick Ross works his ass off. Like, and all that stuff costs money. He has to pay for all those cars to be cleaned. Like, the bill on that, the money, insurance. He has probably insurance on his cow now. And I don't know how much cow insurance is. But I'm just saying that takes time and that takes money. And he has to do what for that? He has to work. He's not just sitting on his ass. He can choose to do that if he wanted to, but he can't. But he knows, ideally, he can't do that. Ideally, Rick Ross knows he can't just sit and just collect a check from people. He can't just do that. He actually has to work, because if he's not running his business, then he can't just expect other people to run his business. I'm not going to fully trust somebody to run my business while I'm sitting on my ass all day and just collect money. No, I got to make sure everything is going correctly. He got to be the boss. He still got to be the boss. So with more money don't come more wealth and all that. It comes more, I'm just saying this as a perspective, comes with more problems and more responsibilities. And you can try to ignore that and try to live the flashy lifestyle and all that. Oh, I got money, But you know what? Money's here today and gone tomorrow. You can have money today and floss it. But guess what? Tomorrow, you'll probably be broke because you spent it all. Because you didn't have a mindset to do anything with it, because you were so focused on trying to get the money and what you did to get the money that when you got it, you didn't even know what to do with it. But that's why we got to grow our morals, y'all. And that starts with our integrity. Let's be more honest with ourselves. Be more honest with the people around us. Be more honest with our ideas. Like, not all of us are the boss. And maybe sometimes we have to accept that. I'm probably not the boss. But you know what? I can work for the boss and probably learn skills so that I can become somewhat of a boss. Like, I don't know, people, we really need to understand the balance of life. Life has a balance, y'all. Everybody can't be on top and nobody on the bottom. It don't work like that. Like, honestly, it don't work like that. Like, we can't all be at the top and nobody be at the bottom. And I'm not saying being at the bottom is a good place, but I'm not saying that it always has to be a bad place either. That there are silver linings in everything, and we can find happiness in even the darkest places. But I don't want to make this episode too long for y'all. This is the start of season 3. We got more deep stuff to get into, y'all, but I do appreciate you guys for listening to me. You know, you can follow me on social media. My social media is SMH Podcast 96. That is my Instagram. Sorry, that's my Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter, SMH Podcast 96. That's not my Twitter. Sorry, SMH Podcast 1. That's my Twitter. SMH Podcast 1. You can find me on Wisdom, SMH Podcast 96, YouTube. I'm on all streaming platforms. Listen, I really wanted to get on here to just talk about how we can just grow as people, grow more. That's what the premise of this podcast is to grow more as an individual. And that starts with our integrity, y'all. Let's try to find more ways to build our integrity. So I love you guys. Hey, shout out to my new friend, Vicky. I hope she listens to my podcast. I met her today on Wisdom. You can find me on Wisdom too. But if you're listening to this podcast, thank you guys. Drive home safely. If you're driving and you're listening to this podcast, drive home safely. But yeah, we're going to get up out of here. And I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, we'll see you for the next episode.
I'm about to walk this motherfucker, man.